What's up, everybody? As always, there's a message involved. Let's get into it.
Today's
narrative.
The ghosts.
My shit.
This is a true story, ladies and gentlemen.
Unfortunately.
You might not believe it, though. Those are fucking up. It's on the ghosts. I'm about to open up.
Listen.
One day I fell asleep and my knife woke me up. He said, "You're goodness in the closet flipping." Talking about I get the most action. He about to soak me up.
So Karmelo Anthony was on this Styles P shit, unfortunately, so it seems, and has been sentenced, right? He sounds like one of them guys who, frankly, has emotional problems, and it has been sentenced. And frankly, I think this is the right verdict. Now, I have to tell you, this is not something that I really paid attention to too deeply. When I first heard about it, or when it first happened, to me it seemed like an open and shut case. I'm gonna be honest with you, because who stabbed somebody when they were being pushed or whatever, right? Like, so someone pushed you, so you decided to just stab them out of nowhere? Okay, that's fucking weird. Now, contrary to popular opinion or whoever you see on the internet, the people that I saw, I know one person in particular that was celebrating the shit and saying, good, whatever, Metcalf deserves that shit. It's not black. He's the person that celebrated, that I know personally, that was celebrating this, was not black. Guess what race he was? If you guessed Marxist, white Marxist, even though Marxist is not a race, but if you guessed that he was a white guy with some Marxist ideologies, you guessed right. You see, you guys have to understand. How do I say this? I rail against cultural Marxism because Marxism, communism, socialism is evil, right? It's flat out. It's evil ideology, rebranded into supposedly caring for others and all that stuff. So a Marxist will insert race into a situation where really it doesn't even apply. But again, it's to stoke division, right? And to essentially destroy the concept of a universal law or universal truth, okay? Take the race out of this. You have a guy who supposedly, for what I understand, was in a tent he wasn't supposed to be in, and essentially, put himself in a situation that he shouldn't have been in. But then, okay, the victim responded by pushing him. Not a good idea, but whatever. And so now this individual, who probably already had a beef to begin with, pulls out a knife and stabs the dude. Okay? That seems pretty premeditated to me personally. But clearly that's a crime, right? Clearly you've broken the law. And clearly you have gone way beyond what is reasonable. Okay, it doesn't matter what race you are. The race part is irrelevant. And you see, this is what a Marxist wants to do, because a Marxist wants to make things relative. They want to destroy the concept of just objective reality, what makes sense, rule of law. They want it to be conditional based on whichever group they align with at that particular moment. And this is why this whole oppressed narrative is some bullshit. Again, when you're young, it sounds benign. It sounds like, oh, I'm here because I really care about the nature of black folk. Black folk are discriminated against, and so they're going to get done dirty when they're just defending themselves. And oh my God, they had to pull out a knife and defend themselves because they're about to be beaten half to death. And, oh, the statistics, the way that black folk are hated on, right? It sounds benign. But when you're young, you can get fooled by those kind of things. But the truth is that deep down, it has nothing to do with being benign. In fact, these individuals who are stoking these divisions are huge racists. And I'll tell you, the person that I know who sided with Karmelo Anthony right off the bat is a massive racist. Former neo-Nazi rebranded as a Marxist, probably, actually. And what I remember, this particular individual was posting right around the time October 7th happened, was posting a lot of these weird, Jew equals Nazi memes, but very, very obsessed with Nazi ideology. And it was like, interesting. So you say punch a Nazi, you are against Nazis, but you constantly post about them. That's weird. It's not normal. But again, that's what we're getting at here. So again, take the race out of it. This guy, in my opinion, goes to jail. It's really that simple. You don't put yourself in situations where you can certainly harm people, but more importantly, there is such a thing as cause and effect, and we also understand the gravity, the intensity of a result, right? So for him to claim victim, to me, is insane. But this is the Marxist ideology. Marxist ideology is I attack you, I provoke you, I create situations, whether deliberately, well, it's all deliberate, but my point is whether they're massive or small. But I create situations where things go left, right? So I start attacking you first, things go left, and then I immediately play victim. Even though I'm the one that probably went out and did the most heinous murders, right? Again, you'll notice Islam, communism, they think very similar in that regard. So Karmelo is not portrayed as the victim. He's protecting himself, even though it's like, you stab somebody? Why? What's that about? That's weird. So anyways, not that every now and then I'll talk about something political, but I just notice this sort of thing sometimes being shared among people that I know on Facebook, and of course people are giving their opinions. But to me, this is an open and shut case. It's that simple. And I will say lastly on that, it's not that we don't know that black folk, again, the stats show this. I'm about objective reality. Of course, there is such a thing as racism. Of course. Okay. We live in a society that has constructed race. White people are at the top, black folk are at the bottom. That's a fact, right? Statistics show this. Again, I'm not saying anything that you guys don't already know. However, number one, things have gotten a lot better. Okay. So they're not nearly as bad as they were 50 years ago, 100 years ago. Okay. We're improving. Okay. Number one. And number two, there is such a thing as basic common sense. Okay? So that's all it is. And those who try to stoke division, you need to look at them and say, what's up with this? And the truth is, the Marxists of the world who have infiltrated our societies here in the West, they will stoke division very easily. Something like this, they'll get their bots to talk about it. They'll certainly show up and, for example, they outside the courtroom and organize protesters. I mean, none of this is organic, right? So you have foreign countries, foreign Marxist communist countries like China, like Russia, formerly anyways, who show up and they're like, hey, this is the way that we get to destroy America. From within, we just stoke chaos. And that's what it is. So, speaking of chaos, lastly, on a more hip-hop note, Oschino decides to diss Jay. And it's trash. Oschino, I'm looking at you, homie. This is trash. And I am surprised after a bunch of videos of yours I watched that I genuinely found funny, and I thought that you had a sense of humor. You recorded a diss track that is lazy as fuck. First of all, rapping on Make Them Pay is not the beat to rap on. I knew when he mentioned that he was going to rap on the Drake beat, I was like, oh no, don't do this. Why? Why do rappers do this shit? Because they're trying to be seen? Like, it's like you got the attention that you wanted, but it's not going to help you because nobody's going to look at this and be like, oh, this is great. No, it sucks. It's rambly. It doesn't make any sense. It's, oh, Jay, you're not a real father. Who fucking cares? I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck. Okay? You're a hip hop dude. Can you rap about something hip hop related? If you're going to attack Hove, can you attack how Hove makes records? Right? Like now, there are some points you said, okay, Jay seems like he's in a different era right now. Well, yeah, of course he is. And what, nigga? And what? Like you gotta put this, you gotta make better music, man. So this was just lazy, honestly. And it's interesting. It's almost the stuff that he was saying in the videos. It was funnier, but once he put them as bars in the songs, it was like, oh, this sucks. Partly because, again, the beat was boring. I don't like the Make 'em Pay beat. And the delivery was lame, right? It was very kind of like, tame. He didn't really seem like he was even all that passionate about it. And so, ultimately, man, it doesn't work. But you can always try again. Get in the studio, man, and make that hot shit, okay? So if you really want to say, you really want to expose Jay or whatever, sure. but get a better beat for damn sure. Start there and put some actual thought into the shit. Because now, frankly, you look like a hater. You just look like one of those washed haters. And it's, it sucks, but it's the truth, man. Anyway, love y'all. Peace.